Hello, friends, and welcome to Snap Take. This is Glazer, Snap Judgments, the official podcast of Marvel Snap Zone. We're going to look at War Machine. We're going to look at his mechanics, his decks, whether you should get him, and we're also going to look at his spotlight caches. So we're going to talk about the cards you can get with War Machine. Let's get started with a deck. Oh, crap. Sorry, I don't like leaving people that might not get War Machine without anything, so we always start by talking about a deck like we always do on the channel. Owl God, our friend, phenomenal player, one of the most creative deck builders in Marvel Snap, is back with this amazingly cool Cerebro 5. I love it and felt like I had to share it. This is Lockjaw Cerebro 5. You heard that right. Again, I told you this person was incredibly creative. Basically, the idea of this list is you play Cerebro and you make all your stuff big, and then you can cheat out really good stuff that all has 5 power, and then Doom and Captain Marvel make sure you win the game. Omega Red helps too. All right, so Owl God is back. We have you can find Owl God at twitter.com/owl_snap. This is almost high series free. If you don't have Samurai, you would need Miles and Spidey or Polaris to replace it. The single most creative and interesting deck builder in the game is Owl Snap. Here's how you play this one. You pass on turn 1 and 2. I know you have plays. Don't play them. Turn 3, Cerebro over Luke, depending on locations, obviously. Turn 4, Lockjaw, and then you throw Waspman to draw if you can, is better than Silver Samurai if you have Swarm as the lowest power thing, is better than Captain Marvel, which is more or less equal to Omega Red. Turn 5 is a card into draw, and a 4-drop if you can. If not, it is Adam Warlock. And turn 6 is Doom. If not, you can again throw a card into Lockjaw and then play another 4. Then you win, because winning in Marvel Snap is good. It's a really powerful deck, it's really cool, and it's totally unique, and it's here for you. Take one last look at this beaut. Remember, Rocket, when he gets +4, is a 1/5. Be careful throwing Rocket into Lockjaw, though, because you don't want Rocket to come back out of Lockjaw and become a 1/9 and ruin your life. Although that Rocket can become a 1/9, means I might be looking at him in some bounce shells. Just a thought right now. Cool. Lovely, lovely, powerful deck. Worth checking out, worth playing. It is awesome. Okay. War Machine comes out on Tuesday, 3/26. I hope Tuesday is 3/26. I'm recording this right before my anniversary dinner, right before my vacation. Shh. All right, so this is a Series 5 card, 6,000 tokens. On reveal, until the end of next turn, nothing can stop you from playing cards anywhere. That's awesome. It basically makes every card in hand Jeff in hand. Unreal good card. Super powerful. 4/6 is good enough stats for this. Love to see it. Hard to imagine this not being good. If you are curious about what variants exist for War Machine, we don't know release dates for these 3. First, we have the Pixel. Decent Pixel. We have the Salaroka. I like that one a lot, and I don't always love Salaroka art. And the Granov one, which I like a little bit less. It's a little bit... the gray background, I think, is what I don't like. So maybe if it were gold or something, we'll see. We are getting, the day after release, the Blueprint one from Guerrero coming out. I may or may not buy that because we have a release date for the hip. The hip comes out on 5/7, and I love this hip. This is an all-timer of a Dan hip art piece. So it's fantastic. Love the War Machine variants, worth getting. In my personal opinion, may still get the Blueprint just because it's kind of cool. You know what? I got the Cerebro Blueprint in my shop. I'm going to buy the Blueprints, and then when the Blueprint thingy comes out, album, I'll have that. All right, the spotlight caches for the week have these 3 variants, if that helps you. I really like the Pandart one, that is the spotlight one, but there's a hip, so I don't need to blow like 4 extra to 8 extra caches for it. Silver Samurai is a really nice card, Series 4, not required for anything, but hey, cool variant. And Silk is a must-have if you want to play any move deck or Cerebro 5. So I think that the cards you get with it, Silk is really worth it. Don't open extra for Silver Samurai, but these are really nice variants. I think there are better Silk variants. This might be the best Silver Samurai variant, at least until the hip comes out. All right, Synergies. He works with Infinite and Ebony Maw, as in you can play him on turn 5 or with extra energy on turn 4, and then just play Infinite. You can also play Ebony Maw with him after turn 3. Sorry, yeah. Or if you played Ebony Maw early, you can play him and then play other cards in that Ebony Maw lane. He counters Storm and Professor X and a ton of locations. However, if you use him on 4 and the Professor X on 5, he's no longer countering shit, as far as Professor X goes. He doesn't turn the location off, so like Death's Domain is still a problem. He doesn't allow move into a location, so like if they Professor X and then you play him in Cannonball, like you can't punch something into that lane, He works with Hope for a turn 5 Infinite, which is just silly sauce. He goes into Lockdown for sure if Lockdown is a deck that still exists because he lets the Lockdown player get into their stuff. He is friends with Zabu as our all 4-cost cards, and we're going to see what else he does because our friend Drewberry built a list of things that he works with. Let's go over these. Good for getting into Goose lanes. You don't want to play him with Goose necessarily, especially with Mockingbird in the game. Maw is great. I think he genuinely just chases Storm right out of the meta. After Electro, being able to play multiple cards is really good, as is after a Sandman. Though I think he basically counters Sandman right again out of the meta. Jean Grey is already bad and now worse. Being able to play Cull Obsidian without a 1 is kind of hilarious. Being able to play Sentry in the right lane, where it can fill the right lane and not make a void, is phenomenal. I didn't even think of that one. Crossbones without having to be winning is fine. I guess as good as Crossbones is going to be. Professor X is really good. Again, we talked about that earlier. Also, really, what he really stops is like Ravona or Rampant to Professor X nonsense, because that is significantly less good. Giganto can be played in any lane, and Infinite can be played without skipping a turn. There's also a bunch of locations that he shuts off, and these are the common ones, right? You can see them on the screen. That he basically turns that stuff off is stellar. The Kiln in particular, Miniaturized Lab in particular, are really, really nice to be able to turn off. Honestly, so is Space Stone. These are all pretty damn freaking good to turn off, and the fact that he does is awesome. There's some that matter less, right? Like, he's probably not coming out till turn 4, which means Pet Mansion ain't great. But the rest are just all at least decent. Alright, so on the Snap Judgments podcast that released Saturday, I had Ika, who's an unbelievable deck builder, and Yowadi MJ on, who's a phenomenal deck builder, along with our friend Gunny T, who's a very good deck builder himself in his own right. Just, not as prolific and like top of meta consistently viable as those other two. And we built a War Machine deck together. This is the War Machine deck we came up with. It is a Hope War Machine deck where you basically go Hope, War Machine, Infinite, Taskmaster, win. You can also go, you can do other shenanigans with the list, so we built a bunch of other stuff into it, where you can go Shuri into Vision or whatever, Shuri into Skip, Shuri into Giganto, and then copy that with Taskmaster for bajillion power. So there's like ultimately other plays here. Being able to play Ebony Maw and Infinite without any downside is just stellar. And hell, you can do worse than Shuri War Machine, right? That 12 power is just kind of awesome there, especially if you're then dropping a Maw there. Now that's a 19 power location, and you can still drop a Giganto elsewhere, whatever other shenanigans. This is a very good list that has a million combos. Listen to the podcast if you want to hear how it came together. This is another War Machine. This is Den's initial build. This is doing the Century Cull Obsidian shenanigans. You can still just play those cards normally, right? I love this list. This list is stellar. This is honestly where I'm starting because it does so many cool things. Like, I love the idea of just being able to War Machine and be like, oh, I just played a Cull Obsidian. Sorry, I know you thought I was going to do something else, but enjoy. I want Hope, but with 3-4 drop Zabu makes more sense. You can still do Black Knight shenanigans, right? Like, you can still do a million other things here. You can still win games by giving them a Void or giving them a Hood. There's just everything you do in this deck puts out so freaking much power that I love it. We have a Darkhawk War Machine. I built this one. This was originally built. I had to edit the crap out of it for the 4-cost one. Darkhawk, but like War Machine's just good tech here, right? You can play War Machine and still do Infinite. You can play War Machine, still pass and do She-Hulk Infinite. These are great options, right? You can play War Machine and not like and just be able to like cheese out your opponent. Like, the War Machine does not have to be the deck in this one. It's just a good card in the deck, which I really like. Again, I love me a good Darkhawk shell, and this is quite a good Darkhawk shell. Next up, we have Senatora update deck. Senatora hit number 1 with this deck right before the Blob nerf, and like it had to go apart because of then, right? This is a nice Thanos list. I think that this could exist again with War Machine because being able to play Infinite is so strong, and being able to spread all these big power cards is really, really great. If you can, and you have Lockjaw here to cheat things out, Psylocke because the extra energy is really great. I think that there's some real potential here for this deck to come back. I don't think I'm going to try it because, ew, I don't want this to be good, but it looks like it might be. Galactus. Sorry, it's just yucky, right? Like you can go Electro or Hope into War Machine, and then you can Galactus in a location that you shouldn't be able to reach. If you Galactus at that point into like Sanctum, you've won. Ebony Knot. This is Iron Cloak. Iron Cloak is just a Marvel Snap Zone user, but every time I see an Iron Cloak deck, I like it. So this is a really cool one. It does that I can take advantage of Professor X with Ravonna thing, and then I can get in there with War Machine if I want to. If Storm exists, this is the deck for it. Electro is completely hilarious. If you go Electro into War Machine, right, you can now just go the frick off to end the game as much as you want, and you're fine. Or you can just play the cards otherwise, right? Ravonna is kind of insane here because Ravonna works with Taskmaster, Professor X, and Blob. So you can go Ravonna, do the turn 5 Blob, turn 6 Taskmaster thing with all these big cards in the deck. This one's cool. This is like really cool. All right, Thanos and the Machine. I built this. Again, this is another version of Thanos War Machine. This is a more traditional Thanos that just says, so what if I ran Psylocke and Ravonna? Right? Like if I'm running Psylocke and Ravonna, I can ramp into that War Machine, or I can ramp right past it. I can ramp into Cull. I can Ravonna and get myself that early Professor X and then War Machine, or early Blob, or early Time Stone, or cheaper Psylocke, and all that should be worth it. This is nasty and mean. Also, like War Machine Infinite is just really powerful, right? I can do the War Machine Infinite She-Hulk shenanigans. Another one I threw together is War Idiots. This is Gunny's Big Dumb Idiots plus War Machine. I basically cut the Destroyer package. I cut Destroyer and Cosmo and said, but what about War Machine, Hope, and Infinite? I don't remember what else I cut. But War Machine, Hope, and Infinite are pretty freaking good. I threw Nightcrawler in so I can play Cull wherever I want, but I can also play Cull wherever I want with, you guessed it, War Machine. It's just more power for the deck, right? I think that this should work. I didn't tell Gunny this deck existed, so I'm really excited for him to see it and hear what he thinks. But like, oh, I cut Gladiator for Hope. That's what I did. Because I figure like if I can go Hope, War Machine, Infinite, that's still pretty freaking good, right? And then I can still play like other shenanigans and win the game. I think this is great. Pure Evolutionary, I think he's good in high evolutionary lists because, well, they run Professor X sometimes, and here's a version. Maybe this one wants Infinite over Goliath. I don't care. I just got sick of sticking Infinite in every deck. And then the Evolutionary Engine. This is the more obvious one, where you're running the Magic Hope package, and then you've got War Machine as an extra way to do the thing. This is disgusting. I would not be shocked if this ends up like one of those decks that has like a 70% win rate, but not at the top of ladder place. All right, so does War Machine look good? Yes. Still, if you would like to wait till Friday, that makes sense. I will do a review on Friday and then another review on Monday for this card. Our first card we're going to talk about from Spotlights, no questions today. Sorry, it's a few days earlier, and we got to go. I got an anniversary dinner in 15 minutes. So we got a Spotlight card of Silk, Series 5, 6,000 tokens is Silk. After any card is played here, this moves to another location, which is great stats. That works great with this deck in particular. This is a Silky Smooth deck. Silk goes amazing in Silky Smooth. I know who'd have thought it. Lambie built this in like August and it was the best deck in the game for a while. It's no longer the best deck in the game, but it is still really good, really strong, really consistent. Silk is a key card here. It pumps up Angela. Popping between Angela and Kraven with Kitty is one of the main things this does. Filling locations with Elsa and then being able to move it out to refill that location is absolutely stellar. Silk is a requirement. This deck is great. The other home Silk has is Cerebro 5. This is a really janky Cerebro 5 it made last week for Man-Thing. I think there are better versions. We're going to look at a better version in a moment. We're going to talk a lot about Cerebro 5 today. I don't know. We just are. So this is a janky Cerebro 5 that if you can get Luke Cage out, Man-Thing is absolutely stellar in. Silk is an enabler for Spider-Man 2099 here. And it's just, I don't know, 2/7 seems like a lot of power. This is the version of this is the Desmond. I guess I didn't do the other one. I didn't do the other one. All right, whatever. It exists. I have it somewhere. I built it. And basically, it runs a bunch of 1-drops, and then it runs Snow Guard. No, not Snow Guard. The name of the card is now gone. Black Swan. It runs Black Swan, 4 1-drops, Silk. It runs like all the 2/5s. So in Silk, Lizard, Medusa, Black Swan, and then the 1/5s, and then it just says, I'm going to go off and play Cerebro and just play 1,000,000 1/7s and win. Here is another version of Silky Smooth. They're all very, very similar. It's just this one runs Magneto. They're all very good. Again, pick a Silky Smooth, run a Silky Smooth. Deck is fantastic. Our next Spotlight card is Silver Samurai. Silver Samurai is a 4/5, Series 4, 3,000 tokens. On reveal, each player discards the lowest power card from their hand. Don't forget that Owl God video at the beginning was a Silver Samurai list. Yes, I did do that on purpose. Thank you for asking. So this is Buddy's No Thanos list. We covered this last Friday. That's how days of the week work. Last Friday. This is a really good list against Thanos. Silver Samurai is a requirement to run Iron Man in this list, and it is great because being able to Iron Man and Ghost Rider is so strong. You don't hate hitting Shang with it, but you're really trying to hit Iron Man. Note, nothing else has 0 power here. Darkhawk used to. It was a little better, I think, when Darkhawk used to, but it's still very good. This is similar to the old Kraken Null list that we really enjoyed. He called him Jund. Pershawn ran this version of discard in week 1 of the Snap Judgments League. Silver Samurai is good in discard. This list, he's meant to hit Wolverine or Swarm. You basically never, and sometimes that shard. This version has like a crazy high win rate, and it's worth playing literally because it wins so many freaking games. I did not expect Wolverine to be this good in this list, to be perfectly honest, but it does work out. This is one of the best discard lists, and Silver Samurai is great in it. It also discards Blob, which means you can beat Thanos. Cool. Finally, we have Ree's Random Bullshit Go. It's just Ree. It's _just_Ree is one of my favorite Twitch streamers. Please go check out Ree. You will not be disappointed. She is both very good at the game and an absolutely freaking unbelievably delightful human being. Go check out her stream. Go check out Pershawn too. While we're here, Pershawn is one of my best friends in the game. He has a YouTube that he posts a video a day on, like me, and a Twitch stream that's excellent. So this is Random Bullshit Go. This is like a good stuff version of discard that's basically saying, but look, sometimes I get a cheap stature. But look, sometimes I can play random cards from Helicarrier. Look, sometimes I can ramp out with Corvus. And you just get to chuck your opponent's cards with Moon Knight and Silver Samurai. I love this list personally, so I think you should try and play it. Oh shit, I put one more. I actually forgot I put one more. This is Combat's Proxima Good Stuff list. Combat Snap's a fantastic player. Strong Guy is great here. Dawkins great here. And Silver Samurai is an absolute requirement for the stature portion of the list. You would like to MODOK on the last turn of the game fairly often. MODOK on stature on the last turn of the game is amazing. And Black Bolt and Silver Samurai both enable that while discarding a lot of your opponent's powerful stuff. Meek and Morbius get nice and big. It's a wonderful little list and worth playing. It's very fun. It misses tech, but you can't really afford to run it, sadly. All right, conclusion. Silver Samurai is very fun, but mostly not required. I am a Silver Samurai fan, despite his lack of, I don't want to say lack of quality, but lack of being completely amazing. If you wanted to play Move, Silk is required. There's no way to play Move without Silk. That's really great, or at least that type of move. War Machine seems like a meta card, if not now, then soon. And if you need Silk, I would just open. If you don't have Silk and don't have War Machine and you have 4 caches, just open, you'll be fine. But you can always wait until Friday when I'll give you my first War Machine review. Thanks for watching. Certain tiers of support come with on-air thanks from our Patreon. So if you're interested, check out patreon.com/snapjudgments. Thank you to Abigail Giesler, Manager at Burnout, Cables, David G. Wingfield, Direwolf, LAB, Fathar Newman, who you should follow on YouTube, please. Good Dog Gamer, Inc., Jay Neverett, Jaden McDonaldino, Akela Platino, Kertix Lee, Coy Ray, KCH, Doku, Philip Rakovich, Haplo, Kenny Loggins, Rob Silverman, The Bizza, J Bussy, X-Force V, Skippy G, Tommy Nyquist, Black Dahlia, The Great Kazoo, Jessica Gamble, Models, our mod on the Snap Judgments League Discord, Louis Antunes, my former student, Matt Conduit, Matt H, Mikey Hijinks, NoFlex, Ocularis, Pretty Chill, Seamus, hey Seamus, Spike Jones, hey Spike, it's new YouTube on Spike Jones, Two Ties, the Pirate King Tucker, the Homie Min, and of course, Gunny T. Alright, I'm gonna eat a romantic dinner and go on vacation. Thanks so much, my friends. I'll be back not tomorrow. Tomorrow, Gunny is covering for an awesome video, and then I'll be back Thursday for your regular Snap Takes. Hit that sub, hit that like, hit that comment. If you want to win the exclusive Captain America thing, check yesterday's video. I'll see you soon. If you want to support some more, hit that Patreon. Appreciate you. See ya. Peace.